It is Monday, August 17, 2020. We met again. I wanted to bring you this quick video. As you guys are aware, we have been fixing some structural issues in regards to building. And so I would like to talk about five main reasons why these things are coming up. So you can keep an eye on these things as well. Okay. And so just because somebody will tolerate mediocrity doesn't mean that's what you should do. Okay. Or some people will just cut corners all over the place and end up catching up to you. It's just that's a philosophy of life. And so you have to be careful about this, especially in the areas of two or more story buildings. We are finding a lot of issues coming up. Okay, so just bear in mind. So the first one is first reason will be improper foundation construction, i.e., a weakened foundation. Okay, foundations are very important, right? Um, they can be very costly. They can cost up to about 20% of the price of the building. Okay, but two things should be considered when building good foundations, right? The solidity of the soil, okay, and the heaviness of the building and its content. So basically, you have to factor in that, okay, um, you are going to add some additional load, i.e., the weight of refrigerators, furnitures, appliances, bed, and all this kind of stuff. So you have to factor all those in there. If there's a library over there that is going to be have tens of thousands of books, books have weight, right? So you have to factor a lot of things that you should be considered. So I hope your building team understand this kind of stuff. Okay. Another one too is the soil composition or the type of ground, right, you'll be working on. Because some ground require stronger foundations. Okay. Some developers try to save money, cut corners, that they should be spending the money on the foundations. But most of some of the times they don't do that. Okay. So even on solid ground, foundations need to be strong enough for the load. I'll talk about what is the load uh, down the conversation. Number two, the use of low quality building materials. Okay, materials that are just not strong enough to withhold the load are sometimes used. There is a market for counterfeit materials. Sometimes scrap metals are used instead of steel. Contractors also normally use the incorrect materials to cut costs. They may use concrete intended to bear the load of one story into two or three story building. That's number two. That's one of the reasons that is causing this problem. Number three, usage of unqualified or incompetent workforce. Even when the workers are given the right materials to make the concrete, they might mix them incorrectly. What we're finding out is that some of the workers misunderstand the mixing ratios of the concrete. Okay, uh, in relation to the ratio of cement to sand to chippings. Okay, not everybody understands that. Okay, so this results in concrete which is not of sufficient strength to hold a load. Okay, some builders or developers cut costs by employing unskilled workers who are cheaper than trained builders. Okay, that's the way they get around with it. Okay, and so this is very common. They do that, and sometimes you find bricklayers and even technicians calling themselves engineers. This part of our world, you can actually not go to school and acquire the necessary knowledge, and then call yourself anything you want, or even sometimes buy a certificate. So these are things that are going on. Okay. So to those who want to save money on the professionals, I advise one should never be a penny wise and a pound foolish. Okay. The best things in life are not free. The best things in life generally has a cost to it. Okay. That is a lie somebody told you. So you must understand these things about there is certain part of the building process that you can get away with certain things, but structurally and stuff like that, the money should go over there. You don't want to play with that kind of stuff. Um, and sometimes too, it's not a contractor's fault. The owner or the client wants to pay as cheap as they could go. And if you find, like for us, we tell we can't provide a quality, you know quality standard for this kind of price, and we just can't do it because the guys are trained. And so, but some builders will take that and then cut corners, which end up, biting you in the butt down the road. Okay, so these are the 3 steps that you should watch out for. Okay, there's 2 more to go. So it's a list of 5. Number 4 is lack of understanding construction load management. Okay, a building load is simply a force that a house frame needs to resist without catastrophic stress on the structure, right? So a building will collapse when the load is beyond the strength of the building. So even if the foundations and the materials are strong enough for what they were originally built for, that purpose might change. So for example, if a building was designed to be a single level or bungalow style home and is then turned into 1 or 2 stories, building, that building will strain under the weight because the load was often heavier than the original design because of the extra stories that were added. Okay, and I've seen this now, in which it was a 1 level house, and then all of a sudden they think they have some money, and so they can build another level, and then the provisions are not made, and then they put that onto the lower floor. So I've seen this with my own eyes. Okay, and I shake my head sometimes. I'm like, okay. So number 5, the strength is not tested. So at all points of construction, the strength of the building should be tested. That's something we do all the time. We are very strict on, policing our building, right? And so this is a big problem though, when at every stage of the construction, there's someone with a strong motivation to save money, take money, or cut corners, right? So if your building at every level is trying to do the most minimal and save the most money, it's going to be a problem for you. Okay, there are many physical reasons a building can collapse, but the only driving motivation for that to happen is money. Okay, so the real reason a building will collapse is 3 things: corruption, low skilled labor force, and a lack of construction load management, right? These are the main reasons why a building might collapse. Okay, but things can go wrong in these situations too, leading to the loss of life because some people stay in these condemned buildings or refuse to vacate the condemned buildings, or sometimes they refuse to renovate and make all the necessary corrections to make it sound or have the good structural integrity. Okay, so just because unsafe buildings are constructed, it doesn't mean anyone has to lose their life. Okay, these buildings can be knocked down, renovated, or as we've been doing for a quite number of our clients. Okay, so all these an additional cost to you. So why not just have a quality team start everything from the ground up, and so you don't have to deal with these things, or take it over from where you have the issues and complete that dream house for you with a peace of mind, right? Which is priceless. So you get what you pay for most, that is true for most things in life. And so just, hey, just spend the money once, and so you don't have to deal with the headaches, okay? You know where to find us, royalconsultingsolutions.com, the Flow of Our Home channel, share the message, pass it around, subscribe. And so because these issues are coming up, so we want people to understand these things so they can plan accordingly, right? Thank you for taking the time to watch my videos and also share my videos. So I appreciate you. Thank you. All right.